Hello everyone, this is my initial family session role play. For the purposes of the video, I have renamed the family or named the family. Brian is the father, Melissa is the mother, Brian or BJ is the son, and Marissa is the daughter. So in the first segment, I would join with the family and working towards building trust and rapport through just asking them why they are here and giving them the information that I know of them and giving them the opportunity to add or change what I know to make sure that I have correct information. And it would go something like this. So hi everyone, hi family. My name is Noelle and I will be working with you over the course of the next 6 weeks. I know that you guys are here because Marissa has been inpatient for 4 days due to a suicide attempt by overdose, and her therapist suggested that you guys have family therapy due to some bickering in the home. Am I correct in what I've just said? Okay, so I want to make sure that I have everyone's names correctly. I make sure that I'm calling everyone by their correct name because I am typically called Nicole when my name is Noelle. So I am very sensitive to making sure that I'm calling people by their correct name. So Dad, you're Brian. Mom, you're Melissa. Son, you are Brian or BJ. Which do you prefer? BJ? Okay. And Marissa. Okay, great. So now that we have that out of the way, I would like to know, in your own words, why are you here? Who would like to go first, or do you want me to pick? Okay, Dad, you tell me why you're here. Okay, Mom, BJ, and Marissa. Okay. Oh, and I also want to ask if it's okay for Brian and Melissa if I interchange in between Mom, Dad, and your actual names. Okay, that's fine. All right. So now that you've told me why you're here, I'm hearing that because Marissa attempted suicide because she's depressed, and yes, that is what got you here today, but what else do you think helped get you here today? If anything, I do know that there's some bickering in the home. Do you feel that that is something you would want to work on, Mom and Dad? BJ and Marissa, do you feel that's something that you guys should work on as a family since you are affected by the bickering that goes on in the home? Okay, great. Does anyone have any suggestions on how you guys want to tackle that? Okay, none? Well, that's why I'm here. And so that's how I would just go about joining and trying to build trust, just getting the background information and making sure that I was correct, not making any assumptions, not putting any words into their mouths, and not leaving anything out. I would also briefly go over the history of the parents, just confirming that I had the correct information on Dad's history with his abusive history, his father being abusive to him and his mother, and Mom's family history of depression. Making sure that I include that is to try to correlate that for the family because depression is what caused Marissa to want to commit suicide. And then moving into segment 2, what I might say to interrupt any bickering between Mom and Dad, being an adult, being in relationships, professional and personal, I have been in arguments, and I know that I am guilty of it and others are as well, is when you're in the middle of an argument, you say things like, I know you meant to hurt me, I know you did this on purpose, instead of, I feel you meant to hurt me, when we make a lot of assumptions. And being the other person hearing that, I feel that increases the anger and increases the intensity and animosity and tension that is between the two in the argument, because you're telling that person what they're feeling, and they're not necessarily feeling that. They're just conveying that through their actions or their words. So to help interrupt any bickering or blaming between Brian and Melissa, I would say, okay, so Brian, what I hear you say is that Melissa is very emotional. And because she's emotional, you stay away from her, or you try. Tell me what her being emotional looks like to you. And then, okay, so her being emotional is coming right in the door, slamming her stuff down, huffing and puffing, and not really too much communication. That's her being emotional. So Melissa, when you come in the door and you do that, tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what causes you to come in frustrated. Are you frustrated from your work because you're in a helping profession? Has your work day caused you to be frustrated? Or is it what you see when you walk in the door that causes you to be frustrated? And the same for Melissa. You don't feel that Brian understands and appreciates you. Tell me what that looks like. Tell me what he does, what he says that makes you feel that way. And that's how I would help with them to kind of get to the core, or to stop the blaming and help with the bickering. I don't think that any relationship is going to be free of bickering, but it's how you bicker. Are you ending the argument with some resolution to what caused it? Or are you just piling on more frustration and anger at the end of each argument? So I would just work with them in talking about what they're feeling the other is doing versus what they assume to know the other is doing by causing their upset or frustration. And then for the third segment, how I would end the session would be to how I would end it is to have Melissa and Brian work on when you say I feel type. When you do, it makes me to be more aware of their partner and their own feelings. Sometimes we suppress our feelings and we don't realize sometimes that what our partner is doing is bringing up some stuff from our past. And when Melissa comes in angry and frustrated, it might be bringing up some residual trauma or hurt and pain that Brian felt as the abused child. And now as a semi-retired adult due to an injury, some of that insecurity and maybe less than feelings are resurfacing that he experienced as a child. And at this point, I don't know that I would have any homework for BJ and Marissa because the first session is working with mom and dad in ending bickering. But even though Marissa and BJ wouldn't have any direct homework, indirectly, I would also have them also becoming aware of how they communicate, how they express. When you do, this makes me feel. When you say, this makes me react. So, in this way. So I think that would be a good starting piece of homework for the entire family. And that's how I would move forward with this family to help them through this difficult time. Thank you.